Michael.
Hello.
And we are leaving New Orleans. As you can see, we are stuck in pretty slow traffic headed to the airport, which is why I'm posting this, because I can easily pay attention. This is the quickest we've gone, and we're rolling like 21 and less.
Again now.
Yes, and less than that. So, Michael, how was the trip? What do you think?
It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. We didn't get to do as much as we wanted because it was raining a lot, as you know from other videos we've recorded. One day we actually ended up completely in the rain, running back to the hotel, completely sopping, soaking wet. It was the first full day we were there, and we were like 10 blocks away, and the rain started, and then we just decided, to heck with it, we're just gonna go. And toward the end of it, like, my shoes were so wet that I just took them off and was running in the grass, and so soaking wet. I mean, it looked like we just stood in the shower with our clothes on for like 10 minutes. And that was awesome, I will say. It was a fun thing. It's not often that you get to kind of experience a place like that, especially if you're not from there. So that was cool. But what I want to talk to you about today, because we are leaving and so it's nice to take stock of things, is enhancing your life experience by zooming in and zooming out. So the way that works is, any given time, right, if you do want to live a life that's more filled with like gratitude and positive manifestation, because the more grateful you are, the more good things come in to keep that going. The more aggravated and frustrated and disappointed you are, the more things come to keep that going. So there is a cool way to both zoom in and zoom out in order to pick the things you want to focus on. And again, I'm not talking about bypass. If there's something that you're going through, you don't want to do this in order to get away and escape a process that's really trying to happen to help you. But on the other hand, you don't want to dwell on stuff for too long and just froth yourself up into this really negative space. And also, if there's nothing really going on either way that you really need to go through, you might as well focus on the positive stuff, because that makes everything better and it makes more good things manifest. So that's a good idea. So anyway, the way you zoom in is you think about like the very smallest things you can take pleasure in the moment. For instance, we are drinking this. Wait for it. Bam! Vita Coco, coconut water with pineapple. I'm obsessed with these. How many of these have we had since I found them on the ride out? So like, we bought 8. I had one at the airport, so that's 9. In what, 4 days?
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm a little obsessed with these. They're amazing. And I know that it's better to crack open a young coconut and just drink it yourself, but these are the next best thing, I think. Anyway, so taking you want that? It's like, that sounds awfully good. So taking pleasure in the smallest things. Food is really good for that. So is to focus on how your clothing feels, especially if you wear really soft clothes. Focusing on your posture and your breath. It's funny because if there's absolutely nothing else going on, then if you really focus on the whooshing of air going in and out of your lungs, you'll see how pleasurable that sensation is. It sounds like a very random thing, but you know, try holding your breath for a long time and you'll see that it is a pleasurable sensation. And also it is, I mean, it's one of the things that regulates your life force. So it would make sense that focusing on it and making sure that it's going as smoothly and as deeply as possible is a way that you could kind of up your vibration and your resonance level, because you'd enhance your mood. So that's the zoom in thing, you know, find any tiny little thing you can to enhance your experience of life. And also another thing to do, and this is something that I don't think anyone really thinks about, it kind of came to me in a download one day, and so I started doing it and it really worked. The hardest thing to do is remember, but it's taking pleasure in what you see. So say like right now, out of the front windshield here, you've got the bright green grass, the darker green trees, and then this really intricate, beautiful sky. And usually you look at it and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever, it's nice, or if you notice it at all. But if you really allow yourself to kind of go into that experience and think about it as if you're experiencing something pleasurable with your eyes, and to really experience that pleasure. It also goes if you're in a very colorful place, and indoors can be very colorful. I mean, depending on where you are, and just enjoying the way that the colors are kind of massaging your retina, because they're making all of the little rods and cones kind of move around and do all this stuff. So if you put your attention on it, then that makes it easier to allow it to up your vibration. Also, it works really well if you're looking at water with the light glinting. And if you're looking at a tree, because the way that the leaves will blow in the breeze, they'll kind of let that light back at you, and it does this massage thing with your eyes, and then therefore with your brain. Oh, this is really bumpy. Ah, fun. We're on a bridge right now with all these seams. Anyway, so that's the zoom in. And the way that you can zoom out to enhance your experience of life is to think about past times, like say when you were in high school, or when you were doing this job this one time, or something along those lines. Any period of your life that is now over. And when you think about that period of your life, there are a few things that people often focus on after the fact. And one is the cool things that happened that they kind of took for granted. So this can be about anything really. It can be about a job, a setting, a relationship, a hobby, whatever, it doesn't matter. But often there are things that you took for granted. And then on the other side of that coin, there are things that you wish you had done that you didn't. Perfect example is when I was a grad student at the University of Florida, there was this lake that you could go and rent a kayak for free with your student ID and take it out and kayak. And during my second year there, I did that all the time. But during my first year there, I didn't really know that you could do it. And that was probably honestly the very best thing about living in Gainesville, because it was just such a cool thing to go and like see the gators in the same water as you, but feel totally safe because you knew nothing was going to happen. And what do you think, Michael? You've kayaked with gators?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, well, this is the skydiver we're talking about. So, yeah, I know some people are like, no way! But really, it was fine. And it was just so beautiful and so, like, sensual, because I could always feel the sun tingling on my skin, and if I got too hot, I would just splash some water on myself and then feel that shock of the cold, and it was just fabulous. And so, things like that you wish you had done more of, or that you never did at all that you wish you would try after the fact. And so, taking that same way of thinking, and then applying it to now, and zooming out and saying, okay, well, if it were, 3 or 4 years in the future right now, and I was thinking about this period of my life, what would it be that I would say I'm taking for granted? And then what would it be that I wish I had done more of or done it all? And then do it. Just do it. Just schedule it. Just do it. And that's hard, especially if it's something you've been procrastinating on. But if you start, then it's easy. Like that first decision. And then if you buy the ticket, if you schedule the class, if you make the call, then it's easier, because then you've already put your foot out there and you're ready to move forward. So anyway, zoom in, zoom out, enhance your experience of life by your attention, and give it a try for a day or two. Maybe take 5 minutes or so when you're in the shower or driving, or something that doesn't take a lot of cognitive action, and zoom out, do the zoom out thing. And then zoom in when you're walking from room to room. Make sure your posture's straight and focus on your breathing. When you're eating, when you're getting dressed in the morning, it's such a sensual thing to get dressed and feel all the clothes slide across your body that no one really ever thinks about. But if you take just a little bit more care with settling all the seams in place and things like that, or when you get out of the shower, if you're putting on oil or lotion, and by the way, I always use coconut oil, it's fabulous, but doing little things like rubbing it into your cuticles of your hands and feet when you are putting on moisturizer after the shower, those tiny little things lined up and combined together end up making life a lot more pleasurable. And you don't need more money to do them. You don't need that much more time to do them. I don't really think you need any more time. I think it's a problem of time management rather than time available. And there are things you can start doing right now, right this minute. So enjoy. I hope you have a great day. We are headed to the airport. See you there in the planes. And we're flying back to LA. And then this weekend I'll be going up to Seattle for a workshop. So I may be able to post some videos tomorrow. I'm going to try to do that and get a backlog, but I also might not be around for the weekend, so if you see kind of a lull in the video posting, that'll be why. But I'm going to try to work it out and do something tomorrow, so I have some for you while I'm gone. Anyway, go in peace, take care, and I will talk to you soon.